Hey guys, this is Will with eXp Realty and I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Today we are back in Winter Park, and if you recall, I did 2 Winter Park videos last year, but I really wanted to come back today just because the market's definitely changed a lot from last year. So for those that watched that video, those last 2 videos actually last year, we're gonna rehash kind of where it's at, what's here, why do I love this place so much, but we're also definitely gonna get into how the market's changed so you can make the best decision as a buyer before you call this place or really any other place in Central Florida home. But before we get started, make sure to click that subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date with all the information we have coming to you here in Winter Park and Central Florida. So let's go check out Winter Park and what's going on in 2022 and beyond. So for those that don't already know, Winter Park is just north of Orlando, still here in Orange County. And in my opinion, it's probably the coolest city we have here in Central Florida. And that's for a bunch of reasons, but the biggest of which being there's just a ton of stuff to do here, and there's a ton of really, really good stuff to eat. We're here on Park Avenue right now, which is what I would say is about the heart of the city. You have these beautiful brick-lined streets, you have a ton of small business boutiques, and you have some really, really good restaurants. Bosphorus Turkish Cuisine, one of my favorite restaurants in all of the area. You have that here. Antonio's, BurgerFi, the wine room, which is really popular among some of the residents here. Really, you name it, you have it here. And then really, if you want to go on a date night, go out by yourself, with the family, the kids, whatever the case may be, you're going to have a good time here because there's so much to do for everyone. There's so much different cuisines, culture, and a lot of things just to experience here, really right in your backyard. Like I mentioned earlier, we're right off of Park Avenue, so that means we have Rollins College right across the street. So though I said there's a ton of stuff to do here for families, or dates and stuff, there's actually a pretty cool night scene. We have bars like Fiddler's, Austin Coffee House, and Spats, which is actually the second oldest bar we have. Not sure if it's Orlando or Central Florida, but it's a really old bar, and it's really cool, really fun. So there's really a ton of stuff to do for everyone here. I don't think there's any exclusion for what age you are and what kind of fun you can have here. The really cool thing about Winter Park is right here in Park Avenue, we actually have the Sunrail going through here. And if you know anything about Florida and really Central Florida, we're not really known for public transportation. So we have this railway that goes as far south as Point Siena and all the way up north to DeBary. Really scenic ride, and it stops right here through Winter Park in the heart of Park Avenue. So if you ever just want to take a cool trip and just kind of explore the area, get a nice scenic view of all the orange groves, all the nature, all the stuff we have here to offer in Central Florida, definitely take that ride up. It's really inexpensive and you can really get it done in less than a day. So that's a really cool thing we have here. So aside from all the fun things to do and amazing places to eat, another big draw to Winter Park is really the school system. I have a lot of people reach out to me to get into this Winter Park high school zone just because they like those schools all the way up from elementary up to high school. And then you have a lot of private options that aren't too far. You have Lake Highland Prep, Trinity Prep, Masters Academy, all within 20-minute vicinity. And you have Rollins College right here across the street from Park Avenue, which keeps you really close to all the fun and on a really beautiful campus right here in the heart of Winter Park. So as you guys remember, I said earlier in the video, my last Winter Park video was just about a year ago, and a lot has changed in the housing market from now to then. Namely, as everyone knows, is going to be the interest rates. As we know, the Fed has increased those rates pretty aggressively the past few months, which has affected our mortgage rates, causing those to go up. About a year ago when I did this video, rates were right at 3%, low 3s. Now we're sitting at about 6.5% to 7%, which, as most of you know, has a negative correlation with home prices as that cost of capital gets more expensive to borrow. If you've been a buyer in the market the past 2 years, you know how tough it's been to get a home, multiple offers, going over appraisals gaps, anything, you name it. But what I will say is with that higher interest rate, you are seeing a little bit less demand, not really a little, a lot less demand, which in turn is giving the buyers a bit more leverage. I've seen a lot of price drops. Seen a lot more concessions. Typically, I'm only writing 1 offer instead of 5 to get, a couple or family or whoever a home. which I think really is a little bit more healthy than what we've been experiencing the past 2 years. So while I think that cost of capital is more expensive, it's definitely giving the buyer a lot more leverage than they've had the past 2 years. So the median home sales price right now is sitting at about $440,000, which is still up about 8.5% from the last year. Benefit though is instead of home selling in a few days, homes are sitting on the market for about 40 days now here, so that definitely opens up a lot more room for negotiation, like I mentioned earlier. So even though we're still up year on year, even after a few price reductions due to those rates, the market is still holding pretty strong here in Winter Park. I would say this is a very property value dense area, which is beneficial for anyone buying here just because they hold a little bit more denser than other places in Central Florida might. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that super quick video we did of the Winter Park area. Like I mentioned, it's one of my favorite places in all of Central Florida. Really just an awesome city with a ton of fun, food, you name it, we've got it here. Really just an awesome place to live. So if you're looking to relocate to Winter Park or anywhere else in Central Florida, I'd love to be your real estate agent of choice. Leave my contact information down below and also a link with some homes in Winter Park if you're interested in that as well. So I'm gonna catch you guys next time.